Okay, and for the last of our VCarve videos for today, I want to talk about another toolpath that we have not yet used called our Pocket toolpath. So you notice that I've got Braves on here, just some simple text 3 times. So we'll do this first one as a VCarve toolpath. So I'll click on that, go over here to VCarve, and use 90-degree half-inch bit, calculate, reset preview. And we can see that's what it would look like if we do VCarve. It comes down to a V, it figures out what it needs to do to fit, to fit in between the vectors that we have here. Now, in comparison, I'm going to do this one as a pocket toolpath. Pocket is going to be our second toolpath operation over here. And that does a similar thing in that it goes between the vectors, so between this line and between this line, only it goes to a flat depth. And not only does it go to a flat depth, but it basically just cleans out the area in between to whatever our specified depth is. We don't have to have any V direction or angularity to it. It's just a flat one. So we'll click on that, and I'm going to use the 1/8 inch end mill here. Cut depth, I'm going to set that to 0.125. We're going to do cut direction, doesn't really matter for our purposes, and I'm going to hit calculate. Okay, and you see that looks a little different than what our last one did in terms of our blue lines here for our vectors. So I'm going to preview the 2 visible toolpaths. And you can see by comparison what it does. It goes down just flat. It cleans out the things or everything, all the material that's in between those vectors. So there are times that we might want to do that. If you look at the teacher name plaques that we made with the Braves logo that are outside of each classroom, this is the toolpath that we used because we only wanted to go a specified thickness, or specified depth, sorry. Sometimes we end up with too much V here and it goes too deep. This is another option. Now, one other thing that we can do with this, just to show you, so we're going to hit close. We're going to select our bottom one. We're going to go to pocket again. But we're going to select a different tool. I'm going to use 60-degree half-inch, or actually, let's go 90-degree half-inch. Hit select. Okay, and that's the tool that I'm going to use to do that. Oops, we can get rid of that one. No, we want to remove that one. There we go. So I added a second bit to it. So what it's going to do, it's going to do some clean out work with the end mill, but then it's going to bevel the sides. So we'll go ahead and we'll hit calculate. We can see that looks just a little bit different, right? We have these last 2 toolpaths selected, so preview visible toolpaths. And you can see that one ends up being a cross between these other 2 toolpaths that we've done. So it goes to a flat depth, but it has a beveled edge. So it's basically a split between these 2. We went to the same depth, same everything. So what this would do is it would clean out with the end mill first, and then it would come around on the edges, and it would bevel those edges starting with wherever our vectors were, and it'll work outwards. So we have a couple of different options there with the pocket toolpath. And again, that's right next to the profile in the upper row, second one from the left, under toolpath operations, and that's the profile, or the pocket toolpath.